Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby. Don't let them rain on your spark. Keep it close to your heart. All of the pressure's gonna drive you crazy. Close your eyes to the madness. In the morning, it's all gonna vanish. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you. Not every light is gonna guide you.
Yeah, when I blow up, I'ma soar high like Peter Pan. In real life, be living all my dreams. If I'm waking up, it's in a foreign land. Whole wrist covered up in ice. Dealership, never asked the price. I hit the mall and ball with my dogs. Yeah, I swiped it once without thinking twice. Cause this what I was made for. Man, I know this what I came for. On a big stage, couple thousand people, and they do whatever I say so. Have chicks that color of the rainbow. Yeah, chains on me like Django. Be a long way from my tank low. Cause my Tesla charge for them bank rolls. And I'm grinding, money on my mind. And I'm headed to the top. I won't stop until I find it. Write my name in diamonds, but all these lights are blinding. I wonder, is it worth it? Feel like I'm losing my mind. Yeah, remind me.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby. Don't let them rain on your spark. Keep it close to your heart. All of the pressure's gonna drive you crazy. Close your eyes to the madness. In the morning, it's all gonna vanish. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you.
Since I blew up, everybody telling me that I'm the man. Same people gave me the finger, they reaching out for me to give a hand. In a different city and my pills came, cause this tour don't happen, I feel pain. And the girl with me say she down for life, but she don't even know what's my real name. Just try to get what she came for. And ain't nothing I got safe though, cause when the money go wild, everybody get a piece. But it's looking like I ain't on the payroll. Got a big house made out of Play-Doh, and a plastic crown for my halo. But still a long way from my tank low, cause my Tesla charge for them bank rolls. And I'm grinding, money on my mind, and I'm headed to the top. I won't stop until I find it. Write my name in diamonds, but all these lights are blinding. I wonder, is it worth it? Feel like I'm losing my mind. Yeah, remind me.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby. Don't let them rain on your spark. Keep it close to your heart. All of the pressure's gonna drive you crazy. Close your eyes to the madness. In the morning, it's all gonna vanish. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you.
Hey, why that's still playing? There, sorry, skipped it. Let's change it up a little bit and lower the volume. I know it's a little loud. How's everybody doing Friday morning? Is it a TGIF moment day? You guys surviving the week? Morning, everybody. So I took a little extra time because as soon as I was going to go live, I got notification that somebody went live as well. So I was just skimming the video, checking it out to see if it's stream worthy. I don't know. Maybe it's too early for. Maybe is it too early in the morning for VT Chronicles yet? Hey, Wolf. Victoria, Laurita, Shane, what up? How you doing, man? Hey, Nicole, Francis, Jake from State Farm. Yo, Richard, what up? Good to see you again here. Split, what up? So yeah, I was gonna skim through it. I mean, it's not long. It's like 30 minutes or something like that. So I might. You guys want to see that? I could play that. Was gonna talk about some other things, nothing, super major, but good day, Kate. Good day, mate. Hey, Jackie. No more cheese keys live. Hello. Hey, Mama Bear and Brenda. So, hey, Facebook user. Hi, Tony. I don't know. I feel like I needed to say this again. Some people need repetitive it's easy to take things for granted. Oh yeah, everything's good. Everything's good here. Thanks for that. Everything's good here. It's easy to take things for granted and to take people for granted. And yes, I saw that. As we go into the weekend, the end of the week, it's Friday. For most, it's payday. And for most, get off from work, then you go spend time, hopefully, with your family, your loved ones, whatever. Go out to eat, whatever you do. And then Saturday and Sunday comes along. Yes, you got family time, and then certain things happen that keep you busy. Hey, John, Teresa, hey there, Brooklyn. And I've talked about this before. And it's not this is not going to be a 2-hour long thing or not even an hour long thing. I just wanted to go into, let me change that up real quick. Just wanted to go into, you got to keep reminding yourself, right? Don't take people for granted. Don't take things for granted. And some of you that are like in a new relationship or something like that, or existing relationships, I guess it doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to love hard. I'm one that always like, hey, you know what? You're gonna do something, do it all the way, right? And I try to pace myself, whatever. Sometimes that doesn't work out too good. I just find myself back in the same going hard, love at full speed. And don't be afraid of doing that. If that's the way you love, then that's the way you love. Just don't be afraid to do that. Just as long as you're sincere, give yourself from your heart. Just let it go, man. And I know some people are not, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you see like love in movies and rom-coms or just romantic movies or whatever. And sometimes you wonder, that's real? Does that really happen? Are there people like that? And you think, it's just a movie. Nobody's like that. Well, it's like, I'm like that, unfortunately. Sometimes, unfortunately. And sometimes, the people that you are not everybody knows how to handle that kind of what do you call it? Love, I guess, you know? And not everybody is, first of all, not everybody gives it sincerely. And then the ones that do give it sincerely, sometimes they're looked upon as, they don't mean that. They're just playing the movie role, or because he heard it in the movie, or he saw it in the movie, or he doesn't really feel like that. But there are people like that who can give sincerely and go all in, and they mean what they say. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. Well, that one was way too short. So, you know, I guess the whole message is just don't be afraid to give of yourself. And if you want to love hardcore, then you love hardcore. Hopefully the person on the receiving end is going to be okay with that. And if they're not used to it, well, maybe that's sad if they're not used to it, first of all. But I think if you're going to do something, no matter what you do, whether it's work or school or, you know, anything in your life, you're going to do something, go at it all the way. As long as you're being sincere. If you're being shady, well, then I got nothing to say to you. Just don't be shady, but you're going to do what you're going to do anyway. And perhaps shady people are why some people now can't handle like something true when it's right in front of them, right? So sometimes you're like, well, you know, I'm going to back off. But you know what? That's not what you should do. Not if it's real. Unless there's evidence of something not being right or something, well, then I can understand where you can have caution. But I think, what is that saying? It's better to have loved and lost than not loved at all. And yeah, you know, I've talked about sometimes when I want to cut people out, and this is not necessarily love either. When you need to block people out of your life, negative people. Remember, we had that discussion way back a few times. But when I need to cut people off, I have this switch. I've got an internal switch. It's like a light switch. And if I need to cut somebody out completely, I have the ability to flip a switch. Sometimes it's not easy to flip the switch, but I can flip the switch. And what does flipping the switch mean? That means block, 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 delete from this, delete from that, block, 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 block. And that's what it means. Like flip the switch. What do you do when you're flipping a switch? You're cutting off, you're blocking current. And I think I came up with that somehow. I just named it a switch. It was always there recently. And by recently, I mean, you know, the last 20 years or whatever. That I guess that's my mechanism to keep myself from feeling, you know, pain and hurt, right? I don't want to get my heart broken or get hurt. So my method was just to cut it off and just cold turkey, like cut it off cold turkey. Is the right way to do it? I don't know if it's the right way to do it, but I know that it's the right way for me. And I don't like using that switch unless it's some kind of negative crap going on. It's not personal to me or whatever. If it's sometimes you need to flip that switch like as soon as possible. And I don't do it just to be an a-hole and cut people out, but I do it to protect myself. And that's why I came up with that switch. And yeah, okay, remove from there, remove from here, delete the contacts, delete this, and then complete, gone. So, and that's not always it's not always easy to do that. And sometimes you don't want to do that when you know you have to, you should. But don't do it just because you think maybe you're going too hard, going too deep. And I should say quit being yourself. Don't quit being yourself just because somebody can't handle it. If you're giving yourself all and you're being, again, this is only if people are legit sincere. You're giving your all and you're being sincere, then don't quit being you. And if the other person can't handle it, then, you got to deal with it then. But I think you need to give, if you really want it, you need to give it a chance, a fair chance. Don't just write somebody off because, maybe of a past experience or something like that. Because they're not all the same. Everything you go through is different. Every relationship, every friendship or whatever, it's all different. All different. Could there be the same certain kind of people? Or yeah, that's possible. But hopefully you can weed out the BS kind of quick early on, right? But I think you have to go with the flow. That's what I like to do. If you get a positive wave, ride it. Somebody positive in your life, ride it. Go with it. Those that have never received it, hardcore love like that or whatever, don't be afraid to. It feels good and it's a certain way. Aren't you supposed to? That's how you're supposed to give, right? You're supposed to give all of you hardcore. And like I said last time, be close, your family, your kids or whatever. You don't know what's going to happen. Illness, accidents happen. I don't like that one. Accidents happen. Things happen. I mean, somebody could be cut out of your life just like that in an instant. So you got to remember, always say I love you, always, all the time. Phone call, in person, whatever. Hug them. You say I love you all the time. Sometimes it's things that are out of your control that can screw up your life real bad. I guess the overall message is don't be afraid to love hard. If all you've got is that one full speed, then that's what you do. And don't be afraid. At least you did it the way you like to do it. Just be sincere, that's all. Got it? And hopefully they do the same right back. But don't write everybody off because of what's happened in the past to you. There are real cool, regular people, nice, normal. So, all right, that's it. I'm done with my little, whatever you want to call it, sermon or whatever you want to call it. Do you want to see the VT Chronicles, see what she's up to this morning? I already got it downloaded. I can queue it up in a second here if you want to watch it. It's 30 minutes long. Or is it too early for that? Talk amongst yourselves. Let me know. What are we at? The 18th of November. There it is. Oh, again? Because I know she was live a few minutes ago. I'm on her page right now again. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I've got it. I just there was an earlier one, but it seemed to be there were like a couple of them that were back to back. So I think I'm going with the. Let me see. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. The most recent one, it's like a come have breakfast with me or whatever, a snack or whatever, right? I'm gonna save that one for Bam later. We're gonna do that one tonight with Mr. Food Porn Bam. So we'll do this one now, and we'll do the one with food later with Mr. Food Porn Bam. That's gonna be good. Hi, Lori. Paisley, what up? Dee Sue. Susan, how are you? Mary. Hey, Marie. Okay. Let's do this. Let me get rid of this little banner that's up here now. And let's do that. Let's see where this goes today. Music. I don't know if it's just me show what kind of music I like or what.
Good morning, everyone. Where are my ladies at? The first ones that always have, thank you, gentlemen. Hello, good morning. But my target audience is women. Thank you, Margie. Hello, Margie. How are you? I really thank all of you gentlemen. I really do, for being kind. You have no idea, because not all men can be kind to women. So I appreciate it. But honestly, my target audience is women. It will always be women. It will always be women.
And some will say that I'm not kind to women because of my show here. If the shoe fits for whatever the reason of how we describe you, then it just fits.
Because I care about the things that matter, to women, mostly to women. They should care to all, it should matter to all humans. But this is a man's world, and women tend to be a little bit more, Good morning, everyone. I will probably delete this right after this. So if you're a hater of mine, you go right. I'll give you time right now. Go screen record it. Delete some stuff out of your I'll give you some time. Yeah.
One step ahead of you.
So, first of all, thank y'all so much for the kindness. Thank y'all so much. I want to explain some things, because it seems like, all of my survival videos, I wake up to a man asking me on one of my videos, I'm confused. What is your objective, right? And I'm like, first of all, I really want to tell you the truth. What I really want to say is, why would I care if you're confused? I mean, it's you. There's 8 billion people on the planet. I promise I will be okay if 1,000 people don't understand. As long as the majority do. I'll be okay. I will be okay. Okay. Also, if you don't understand my survival videos, chances are, and you're confused, you're probably never going to understand, because any human just looking at my videos could just, you do not have to be the smartest person in the world to look at my videos, have no backstory, nothing at all, and see how a life, somebody's life, they were living life literally perfectly, graduated high school, graduated nursing school, okay, graduated college, and then boom. What? Wait a minute. Hold up. So part of raising awareness and being good about raising awareness is I can't tell the entire story on the little bit of time that I have here. That would require other things, like a show, like a series, like a movie, like a book.
Here we go. Where's Netflix? Need Netflix?
Part of being good at raising awareness is being able to convey some kind of mystery, which means you will be confused. Not all of you are going to get it.
With facts, though. Facts. Real facts. Not alternative facts. Not your truth, but with truth.
And that confusion is sometimes part of the mystery. It sometimes needs to be a little bit of an enigma, because there will be then no incentive to find out. You're going to want to find out. If you know the whole thing, then you're not going to, okay, you know the whole thing. There's no reason for you to keep tabs of or saying, I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to know exactly how this went to this or this went to this. I mean, for those, and it's very few who have been confused. I have had 2 survival videos. One hit 8 million views. Another hit 7 million views. And another one 60,000 views. And on all of those collectively, all of them, 14 million plus 60, so 14.6 million. In 14.6 million views, I've had less than 10 people say, I'm confused. No joke. No joke. One more time. In nearly 16.6 million views, I've only had less than 10 people say, I'm confused. So tell me then why I should care that some people are still confused and they don't know what my goal is. But first of all, before everything, what business is it of yours what a woman does with her time? I mean, why are you on her page? Why are you on her page? If you don't understand, chances are you're probably never going to understand. And you know what? That's okay. There's lots of other people for you to go look at. Because most people are, and no offense to anybody, but most people are people watchers. They will never do a live video, nothing at all. COVID has literally changed our entire lives. And the majority of our entertainment comes from this. And you all know it. When was the last time you went to movie theater?
A couple months ago.
Some of you can't even go on TikTok because you know the minute you do, it's going to be like 2-3 hours before it grabs a hold of you. It grabs a hold of you between makeup tutorials and this and that and the political thing. And, you know, sometimes you get involved in something that's an injustice and it's like, oh my God, how could this happen, right? Which brings me to this. Shanquella. Justice for Shanquella. And I'll be telling her story later on. Shanquella was a beautiful young woman who went with friends to Mexico.
Here you go.
And her mother got a call that she was experiencing symptoms of alcohol poisoning. Her story is so familiar to mine. It hits so close to home.
Oh, good Lord.
That right there was the first red flag. the fact that right there is almost like putting the blame on the victim, like, oh, she's experiencing something bad, and it's a product of her choices, right? But then her friends come home, and after she passes away, and they leave her body over there. They have the nerve, the audacity to bring their asses back to the United States without their friend's body.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between Shanquella and
you can't exactly just bring a dead body over the border. It doesn't work that way. If these guys are trying to preserve their themselves from going to prison or jail, like on the spot, or getting arrested on the spot, you don't want to be coming over with a dead body in your car or anything like that. So that's why they probably left her over there. But yeah, I'm gonna look into this as well. I read this thing last night. And let's see where she's going with this.
her friends, because, well, I'll tell you right now, but there's a difference between Shanquella and her friends. There's a difference. The difference is this: they don't look the same, and that matters. That matters.
There's my eyes. Hey, eyes.
It matters.
It's all right, Miss.
They don't look the same, and they don't seem to act the same. They don't have the same level of main character energy. Shanquella, you could tell, was a main character. Why does that matter, Vanessa? I promise you it'll matter. And if this case ever gets prosecuted, I promise you that will matter, because that will probably more than likely be one of the biggest motivating factors, is the fact that Shanquella was main character energy, while her friends were nothing but supporting actors that probably shouldn't even have been supporting actors. It was like understudy energy, not even understudy energy. Like, please let me read for the part energy. You're not even nowhere in the show. That's the kind of energy she was hanging out with. So then her mother's like, what? Like, my daughter's like not alive. So then her mother, all the way from the northeastern part of the United States.
There's my eyes. Wondering where you were at. Love you.
Well, the Mexican authorities get involved, and they tell her the cause of death. The cause of death had nothing to do with signs and symptoms of alcohol intoxication, and had everything to do with her vertebrae was broken. Her back was broken. They broke this girl's back. Something broke this girl's back. That doesn't have anything to do with that. Maybe she fell. That's a strange fall. Her back was broken in places that if it was just one thing, then, it could be explained. But her back was broken in places.
Don't forget, everybody, she was there. She knows exactly what happened. Believe me, she read all the articles on the face of the earth regarding this, and she knows what happened. She's what do you call those? Was it the viewer, remote viewer? She remotely viewed what happened. That's why she knows all this. Either that or she was there.
In places that is really pretty much unexplainable, right? And then I believe it was the atlas, the topmost vertebrae in your body is what allows you articulation of your head. The topmost vertebrae. It's rare for that to be. It was a separation. It was a separation of it. It wasn't even fractured. It was literally as if they tried to pull her head off the top of her spine. Well,
how do you know that? How does she know that? How can she possibly know that? You have to start researching this and see what articles she actually read. See what these articles are saying. Because how would she possibly know that? And she talks about it. She speaks about it so matter of factly, like, yeah, somebody said she did the autopsy. She performed the autopsy. She was there. She was working with the coroner.
Tried to pull her head off the top of her spine. Well, how would you know this? Well, I'm a nurse. Well, but yeah, how else would you know this? Because I'm a biology major. Because I can list you right now every single bone in the body and every single muscle in the body. Because I know how the human body can articulate. So there's that. So now.
So she's a forensic pathologist now too. You can add that to her list of credentials. Forensic pathologist.
They have the FBI involved because now her death has been ruled a homicide. It has been ruled a homicide, and the last people to be around her were her friends. But this is the worst part. The worst part is this. Now there's video out there of Shanquella in a strange state that doesn't even look like anything to do with alcohol, to be honest with you. It's almost as if I saw some of the video where they were, it looks like these people just jumped her one by one. And then we don't know. It's my opinion that there's probably video of all of them jumping her. But remember, why would they jump her? Well, just look at them and look at her. Just look at them and look at her. Hear them and then listen to videos of her. That's, I promise you, it boils down likely to the oldest motives in history. Pure, simple, unadulterated, evil, envy, and jealousy. I promise you this. I feel it. I promise you this. They probably swung her around like a rag doll. They probably grabbed onto her hair and probably held onto her cranium while her body twisted in the other direction, which likely caused that separation of her head from her spine. And when you hear this in subsequent articles, please know you heard it here first. I'll just wait a little bit.
Keep your eyes on the road, please.
So this is what I'm afraid of. I mean, come on. It is a direct disconnect of her, the vertebrae on which the cranium rests. There is very little, and you would have to be guessing as to maybe the scenarios in which that would happen. But by using a very good deduction, you can deduce that there's only certain scenarios in which that could occur. On top of that, you put that together with the leaked videos. By the way, these were leaked. In just the same way when I was taken hostage and somebody leaked that nobody was supposed to know that I was being tortured for 3 hours. One of their own gave them up because they probably thought, oh, I thought we were just gonna beat her up. I didn't think that she looks like she might die. I didn't sign up for a homicide. That's not what I signed up for. So somebody leaked it. This wasn't done out of the goodness of their heart. Somebody leaked that video. So when you already know without watching the videos that there's only certain ways, certain scenarios in which your head, your cranium will be detached from that top vertebrae. And on top of that, then you put it together with the video. Well, that throws out a bunch of other scenarios. That makes me believe that they all had at her. And somehow, some way, they either pulled her apart or they twisted her. They pulled her head from her body. They did something that caused a pull from her head to her body. or they twisted her in some way where her head went in one direction and the weight or the inertia, the weight and movement caused such a force that it separated her cranium from her spine. And at that point, it was no more games, no more. At that point,
do you even know what inertia means? Really?
Which that detached is likely the point in which she ceased to move or give any signs of life. That's my best guess.
Guess is exactly right.
That's my best guess. It doesn't take a scientist. It is so, when you put it together, you're right, Deidre. When you put that together, when you put it together, it doesn't take a scientist to understand, well, what's going to cause. The thing is that not a lot of people know what that specific, they call it a specific name, the atlas, because it's held on. That's, you're holding it, right? It's being held. And it's held on to the body like that. That takes the weight of the cranium. It doesn't take a scientist to figure out that there's only certain ways that could occur. And that it wasn't done because of alcohol poisoning.
A scientist?
That was done by human manipulation. Somebody manipulated her body. And in my opinion, it has everything to do with the moves that her body was being forced into by the moves of those other people engaging her in those strange fighting stances and beating her up and stuff like that, engaging with her. You even hear them say, fight back. No, why is she going to fight back? First of all, she's probably on something that she doesn't even realize what she's on. Because, man, if y'all were able to sit there, record this, tell her to fight, when it looks like she clearly does not want to fight. Are you serious?
So, it was something mysterious that happened in a motel room. Is that what you're saying? I saw part of the video right now in the hotel room, and she does get swung around by her head, by her neck, and that's probably where one of the injuries happened. I've yet to see the whole thing. I'm looking for it right now. I saw part of it from a news report, so they're not going to show the whole thing.
And I almost wonder if this was premeditated and this was planned. Like, man, I wonder if these friends were in America and they were like, man, I want to.
Oh. 2 seconds. She's going to blame it on John Allen. How much you want to bet? Anybody?
Beat her damn ass. Let's figure out a way to do this in another country, because maybe if we do it in Mexico, maybe if we do it while we're in Mexico, we won't be prosecuted. Because if you were silly and stupid enough to record it, then you are silly and stupid enough to think that your little premeditated plan like that is actually going to work.
Because she's an expert on conspiracy theories. The girl that was fighting with her, they were kind of wrestling, and she kind of whipped her around from her head, whipped the whole body around. And that could be where the injury happened. I'll put the link up where part of the video is.
And now this poor mother
putting it in the comments.
There's been a rally cry for action in the United States, because unless there's a necessary degree of outrage, the FBI, the Department of Justice, they're not going to intervene as well as they need to for this mother. And Shanquella, she's an American who was likely put in a position by badly behaving and evil Americans who decided to do this to their friend in Mexico, likely thinking that they were never going to get caught. And if they were caught, they were not going to be prosecuted because it didn't happen on American soil.
Well, she knows the whole story. She knows the whole thing. She solved the case. single-handedly solved the case. What would we do without her?
This is also what I'm afraid of. And a lot of you are not going to want to hear this, but it's true. They're at a disadvantage because of this. And people are going to say, no, that doesn't matter. And other people are going to know why it matters.
Legal analyst. Did we add that to her list already? Okay. Sorry.
She's a beautiful girl. She has tattoos. They're going to judge her for that. She went over there to have a good time. They're going to judge her for that. I can already see the inappropriate post on.
You see what she's doing? Any minute now before she makes the comparison again, because she already did, kind of. They're going to start to judge her this, and she went to party. They're going to judge her. Watch.
Thousands of different posts on Facebook and other social media platforms. And I can see the evil folks saying things like, well, she shouldn't have been going over there. Well, that's what she gets for doing this. Well, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Things like that. Shanquella Robinson deserves justice. She deserves justice. Her mother deserves to see justice. Her mother deserves to see justice. The other thing that they are at a disadvantage at, she's Black. I'll let it sink in because I'm not going to let go of that. Just accept right now.
Of course you wouldn't let go of that. Of course not. We wouldn't expect you to.
Just get it through your head then. You're not going to try to,
Everyone, would we expect anything less from her? Would we really? The race card. Of course you're going to hold that up there, front and center.
You're not going to convince me of here we go. You're not, none of that. You could be a million of you saying that, and it ain't going to matter to me. Okay? So, accepting it? Are you accepting it? Okay, here we go. She's at a disadvantage because she's Black. Because I promise you, and everybody, a lot of people in America will agree with me, especially Black folks will agree with me, especially brown folks will agree with me, especially our white allies who totally understand exactly where it is that I'm coming from, because there's lawyers all across the nation that understand exactly what I'm going to say right now. If this was a white
oh boy, here we go.
American female that this happened to, at the hands of white Americans, but God forbid, if it happened at the hands of Black Americans and it was a white, please, there would be outrage all over the place. Yes. Yeah. Yes, this is true. So she's at a disadvantage. So that's why she's having to survive out loud for her daughter. She's having to fight for justice out loud. This cannot be a silent thing. They will ignore her just the way that they ignore honeys. This is what Shanquella Robinson's mom is up against. She's up against a nation who literally had to be begged by the American people and the family of Vanessa Guillen to get justice for Vanessa Guillen, who literally was serving our nation on American soil. That's what Shanquella Robinson's mom is up against. Her fight is up against the same nation, the same people, the same society, the same public, which were divided because not everybody was yelling for justice for Vanessa Guillen. There was a lot of people that were supporting what the military was doing, and they're doing what they can. They're doing their jobs. Give them time to do their jobs, people. That's what she's up against. That is what she's up against. All right? Okay? That's what I got to say.
So this entire country is racist. The entire country. What do you do with somebody like this who just wants to make everything about race? Goodness. Sad that somebody's got to always revert to that. Always. To seek their justice.
I don't know what else to tell y'all. It's the truth. This traffic is horrible. Later on, when I get a chance and I get a break, I don't even want to talk about it because I'm so riled up about and I've been wanting to talk about this for a little bit, but I wanted to see, honestly, I wanted to hold back because you know me, as soon as I see something, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I'll talk about it. But now I've learned to wait, because if I call out, like with Uvalde, it was different. I called them out, and right away, before everybody knew, in that instance, I was vindicated, and it took a little while to be vindicated. It took a little while for everybody to see, oh, we were fighting with Vanessa about what she was saying, but literally for the rest of time, she's going to be right. She was right. So I'm waiting to see I've been waiting to see exactly how the government's going to handle this. Exactly especially now that this video is out. That video is very damning. How the hell, who is recording this? Who was fighting with her? They knew that they were being recorded. The girl was not fighting back. She wasn't even yelling because she probably knew, I'm not going to survive this.
You know, there's a difference in telling the story of what happened. You do your research, you express to your viewers, this is a story, da 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 da, and this is what happened, and allegedly, anyway, this is what happened. And then, but that's different from trying to take this on as a crusade, like you're going to fight for the family, which you clearly are not. Like you said, you were fighting for Uvalde, but yet you never stepped one foot on their property, in their city. So what do you call that? I think the term was a tragedy pimp. That's what I keep saying. If there's a different phrase, let me know what that is. But I recall seeing tragedy pimp. And again, you think the family is going to listen to you? You think they want to hear those gory details if they were even true like that? Yeah.
I didn't yell and I didn't cry when I was being tortured.
Of course, everything goes back to her. Of course. That's the ultimate purpose for all this.
Because I knew I was outnumbered. I knew I was outnumbered, and I knew that they had made the area so that they couldn't hear me cry and scream. And if they heard me cry and scream, and if I fought, I would be dead. They made it very clear that I would be dead. And they knew that I was the type to fight.
If you would have fought, maybe you would have escaped. That's what I'm thinking. Who just gives in? Believe me, I've been on a 8-1 fight, and there was no way I was just going to go, oh, okay, go ahead. Whatever you want to do. No. That's not what happens. Real survival instincts kick in. So, and granted, some people can't fight or don't know how to fight, but you will freaking struggle and try to escape everyone and not make it easy for them. It almost sounds like she just said, well, there were 3-on-1, so I just gave up. Could be wrong, but that's what it just sounded like right now.
Because that's why they had to have 4 people, and that's why they had to tie me down, which is likely why they knew that she was going to fight. That's why they had to outnumber her. And they had to wait until they got out of the United States to do it. I hope that all of their phone records are investigated in the days and the months leading up to their trip to Mexico. Because there's no way that you're going to convince me at this point that this wasn't premeditated. There's no damn way. There's no damn way that you suddenly formed that much hate. There's no damn way that all of a sudden on a vacation, you suddenly got so weirded out with your friend that you decided to engage her in a fight that she obviously didn't want to be in, and you wanted to record her, and you wanted to mock her and be condescending by saying, hey, why aren't you fighting back? Well, she's freaking outnumbered. I'm sure the girl would be fighting back if she was on American soil.
Is she talking about the girl, or is she talking about herself? Kind of foggy distinction between the two, right?
If she knew that it was just one-on-one, believe me, she looks like the kind of woman that was fierce. And that is likely one of the other reasons that y'all had to gang up on her, and y'all had to wait till she was out of the United States with y'all. That's what I got to say about that. So, anyways, please don't come over here with your Shanquella stuff. Don't do this. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. All right? Okay? To the rest of y'all, thank you so much. I don't know what else to say.
Well, make something up.
I feel so bad for her mom. Every day for the next couple of days, weeks, maybe, oh, God forbid, months, until she gets justice. Just look at the case of Vanessa Guillen, a soldier who was not partying in Cabo. Shouldn't matter, but I promise you it's going to matter. You're going to see all of the inappropriate comments. And I'm telling you right now, the racists are going to come out. You're going to see them. You're going to see them come out with this story. They're going to come out. If they're not already out right now, they always step out of their little closet when something like this happens all the time. Always. You're going to see them come out. But if it was one of their own, in their minds, one of their own, because she is one of our own, no matter what color we are, she's one of our own because she's a human. But in their minds, if she was one of their own, it would matter more, and it would matter less. It wouldn't even matter that she was in Cabo, just that something happened to her. So that's what I have to say about that. Okay. All right. They were not friends. To me, I will always believe that was calculated. There is no way that you're suddenly going to do that. You did not. There is no way that you're never going to convince me that before you boarded that plane, that before you left your part of the United States, that you will never convince me that you did not know that you were going to do that to her. Y'all were some jealous ass, envious ass people.
Yeah, there's more to that story too.
Her, which is why you recorded it.
I'll wait till she's done. Less than a minute left.
Her, which is why you put hands on her. You wanted to get away with it, which is why you did it in Mexico. That's all I got to say. Oh, you wanted to brag about it if the person who leaked it was somebody that you foolishly and stupidly sent the video to, or one of y'all is having second thoughts because one of y'all was the one that leaked it, because you know that this is more serious, and you probably didn't know you were signing up for the rest of your friends being evil. And if I were you, I would go to the authorities first, because the first one that confesses is the first one to get the best deal. That's what I gotta say. Thank y'all. Bye.
Yeah, so there we go. So as it turns out, someone sent me some additional information, and I put a link up a little bit ago of a news report that showed a clip. I don't know if you guys have seen that already or got a chance to look at that video. The person that was fighting her, swinging her around, you saw that if you watch that video? It's a transgender female. So that's a male to female. So that could explain why the beating had more was more severe than just what a typical, no offense, but female on female fight, right? So, yeah, I'm going to watch some of that right now and see what else I can dig up throughout the day. And before I forget, give me 1 second. I just want to make sure of something. November. What are we at today? 18. Alrighty. I got the video secured for later, so we can have our food porn segment with Bam. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot more to that. Of course, she's gonna take up the cause. What cause exactly? I don't know. Seems like she's trying to gain support and more followers, perhaps for a political campaign she might have coming up in the future. And of course, drawing parallels from what happened to this young lady, to herself, and that's what she ultimately does with everything, is draw a parallel line from what happened to her to all these tragedies that she keeps bringing up. Somehow, all roads lead back there. Ain't that something? So, alrighty, that's all I got for right now. I'll be back later today with some more VT Chronicles, and bam! Yes, there is a food porn segment coming up. Yes, there is. Hope you all have a good Friday. Reminder, if you want to subscribe on YouTube, if you want to become a member, if you use an Apple device, like an iPad or an iPhone, you have to go directly to the website. You can't, for some reason, it's got to do with Apple Pay and that kind of thing. You cannot join on your app or on the YouTube app. You've got to go to www.youtube.com/Manny Behind the Mic. And then, click on one of the videos. You might have the join button right there. You may have to click into one of the videos, but don't let it take you back to the app. If you do that, then you will not see the join link. So just go directly to the website, and there's 3 tiers that you can sign up for. Feel free. It's much appreciated. And that's all I got for you right now. We'll be back a little bit later today, probably early evening. And I'll make sure Bam is here as well. Have a good Friday, everyone. Be safe out there.